Giggs. No. Rhodri.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at? It's opinions. I respect your opinions. Maybe in your opinion Messi is better than me, but in my mind I'm better than him.
I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy cars and get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up,
Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation, the home of Rhodri Giggs on football. The shadow man is here. We can just about make him out. His light's broken, but he's here and he's good. He's feeling better than he was last week, and it's got lots to talk about. And for once, it's something positive for him to talk about United as well, which is always a bonus. Please do check out Football Central. Use the code ACE, get yourself 60% off because you 10% off with the code, and they got a 50% sale for all your retro football shirts and all that sort of stuff. Football Central with 2Ls.com. Use the code ACE and support our sponsors. Always helps us out a bit. But yes, indeed, they do some quality retro gear and tracksuits and some modern kits as well. They got all sorts there. Something for everyone. And as always, I am joined by ex-FC United, ex-Salford City, Bangor City, Aberystwyth Town, Mosley, and a whole bunch of other teams. I'm delighted, as always, and delighted to be back with Mr. Rhodri Giggs. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate, yeah. Been busy this week, even though I've been off because the kids are off, so I'm off. Coaching yesterday, then played golf at the Marriott. Just got to play golf again today, comp day today, so my feet are killing me. And I've got tomorrow another coaching day for 4 hours, and then weekend, and then back to work. Countdown is on for 7 weeks, so 6-week holidays. The countdown is on, but it's good. The kids are seeing off one set and then welcoming another. So yeah, it's good. But yeah, I'm better from last week. Better from last week. Last week was minging. I was off work 3 days a week. I was never really off work, but yeah, I was off for 3 days. It was not good.
Yeah, I could tell when I spoke to you on the Monday when we were when we were gonna record with Jeff, and you were.
That's when it come on, because I was in work Monday and I said to him I need to go home about 2:00. I went home and then it started from then.
Yeah, mate, there's not a lot you can do about it, isn't it? It's just it happens. It happens.
It's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. So we had Giggs with guests, the first episode without Giggs, but it was a good episode, mate. It was really interesting speaking to Jeff. He never holds back. Anyway, he's got his opinions, and I really enjoy speaking to him.
I was gutted. I missed it, but yeah, what could I do?
We'll have some more episodes of that coming soon as well. We've got a few different guests from different fields as well, mate. Whilst it's predominantly football, it's not just football with guests we're getting on there. We got a few MMA fighters and stuff like that, and it's going to be interesting, mate. Because I think obviously we've had the odd person, haven't we, join us for sort of little cameos here and there. Yeah,
I'm going to speak to Nick. Played football with him. I played football with him again on Sunday, so I'm going to ask him, and we'll get him on next week. So yeah, we'll get Colton on.
Yeah, there we go. And again, another one with a really interesting story. very good goalkeeper as well in his time. So very, very much looking forward to chatting to these people. So we're going to talk about
He
the FA
still
Cup
holds the
final.
record for the short. Shut up, dog. He still holds the shortest. I think it's the shortest record. I think he was on for like 30 seconds or something.
Is it shortest
Well,
ever
it
appearance?
might have been lower. He's come on to take a goal kick, and as soon as he took the goal kick, the whistle's gone.
Mate, appearance.
That was his only ever appearance in the Premier League. And it's for Man United against Arsenal at Highbury.
Appearance bonus, though. That's the main thing, mate.
Yeah.
Got his appearance bonus. Obviously, we're gonna start with the World Cup, the FA Cup, mate, because I think as a United fan, you've had a bit of a bad season. It hasn't been enjoyable, but what a way to finish the season. Because do you know what, right? Yes, United won, and the second half, as you'd expect, they were under a lot of pressure. But it wasn't a fluke. It wasn't like they got an early goal from 40 yards, 30 yards out, and then held on for the rest of the game. They could have easily been 3 up, but for an offside flag in the first half. I thought they were really good value for the first half, particularly, but overall, I thought they deserved the victory, mate. I thought Ten Hag made a bit of a point and probably reminded maybe some people in Ineos that he's a top manager, mate. And just lastly, before I pass over to you, I will say one thing about the manager situation is managers who play good football are 10 to the dozen. I could name you fucking 20 off the top of my head. But managers who win trophies, not so many. And he wins trophies. And I just think you look at that against supposedly, or probably not even supposedly, the best manager around at the moment in Pep. Beat him tactically. He came up with a plan and they executed it to perfection. And Man City did not know what to do. De Bruyne off because he was doing nothing, missing chances, giving the ball. The amount of times City kicked the ball out because they were going side to side and doing the moving the ball and trying to move their opponents around as they do. But United was so disciplined and so structured that they just kept. Eventually, they would just give it away or kick it out. And people will have their opinions on whether he should stay, whether he should go. To me, you shouldn't make the decision just on the FA Cup final. But I think people have got a short memory because last season United were very good, won a trophy. This year, yes, the league and the Champions League has been poor. But you look at, mate, as soon as Martinez is back in that team, everyone around him suddenly looks a different player. And if you take Saliba out of Arsenal, they fall apart. You take Rhodri out of City, they lose games. You take whoever, every team's got those kind of one or two players. But United were very poor this year, so you have to accept that. But they've also had 30 different defensive combinations. And I think it's such a vital part of how you set up. I've said all along, I think they'd be mad to get rid of him. With a year left on his contract, he should see it out. And then they give himself, because they've got like a free year almost, because if they just let him see out his contract, they can kind of get everything in place off the field and then make their decision. If they sack him now, that's it. Like it's started, they are judged. Whereas now, he's not their man sort of thing. So if he does well, they get the credit for keeping him. If he doesn't do well, then he's not our man, but we're going to bring our man in now.
Something's very peculiar here because you're like spieling exactly what I would say. So
I've been saying it for weeks, but I want to before we talk Ten Hag, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent. Then before we talk about that, I want to focus on the game, mate, because I was so impressed with the way United went about their business. And just on a side note, Rob's just put it in the comments, so I want to make mention of it before I pass to you. I thought Shearer and Lineker and the post-match press conference afterwards was an absolute disgrace. When you think about, they interview Pep and it's like, oh, well done, blah, 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 congratulations on the league. And they refuse to ask him anything about 115 charges, but yet Ten Hag has just put in a performance like that with his team, won the FA Cup, which nobody expected him to do. And all they can do is ask him about his job. And I thought they were really rude. And I thought it was very poor. But anyway, sorry, mate. Rant over. You go and talk about the game, mate. Because as a United fan, it must have been a very pleasant couple of hours.
No, it was a good game. It's obviously, when they're on it, the front three, they're the best three. And the back four would probably have Luke Shaw in it and Dalot on the right, and that would be the back four. But Wan-Bissaka was very good. Manu has obviously played himself in, so he would play normally. Bruno obviously played false nine, and Scott McTominay, and who else was it? Who else was in the middle? Scott McTominay, Manu.
Bruno, McTominay, Amrabat, Mainu.
Amrabat, and Amrabat was a beast. He played really well. He played really well. Energy, strength. So you can see now he's got his fitness, and this is the Amrabat we was watching and seeing. So it's obviously difficult when he comes in. He's not up to match fitness, and he's running about and he's coming on. He's been struggling, but now you see him match fit against a very good Manchester City team, and he was stronger even at the end of the game. So. But same with now we're going to let him go. Same like we let Sabitzer go. So maybe you should think about keeping all of these players because he looked really good. Amrabat, he did, but yeah, it's time to move on with some of them. It was a very good performance, and the second goal, the first goal, would that have happened if Edison was in net? Probably not. But Garnacho put him under pressure, and he got his goal. And then Manu's goal was a really, really good team goal. So under pressure at the end by a silly mistake by the keeper. Really, other than that, it was comfortable.
Mate, Onana, the save which Onana made from Kyle Walker from long range, I don't think people quite realise what a good save that was.
Yeah, it was a strong hand, wasn't it?
To get across, get his weaker hand to it, and then get it out and over the bar was unbelievable. Unfortunately for him, if he saves the one that goes in, because he does make a mistake from that, if he keeps that out, I think people focus more on the good stuff that he had done earlier in the half. Unfortunately for him, but I did want to make mention of a couple of things. Amrabat, United have got a deal to sign him for 20 million, and I think. Up until the last 4 or 5 games, probably everyone was thinking, he's going to go back to Fiorentina. But for 20 million, mate, I would sign him because the team looks better with him in it. Kobe Mainu looks better, weirdly, because he's been so good. But he looks freer and he doesn't look so isolated. When Amrabat is there, they got a better structure. And second of all, I wanted to say, Bruno Fernandes, mate, in the last 21 games of the season, has had 20 goals or assists, and people questioning
the best thing I've seen on Saturday. He was positive. His arms weren't flaying about. He was in a positive attitude. That's the captain we want to see. That's the Bruno Fernandes we want to see every week, not the one we've seen in the past few months.
Telling everyone where to go, wasn't he? And he was telling you could as he dropped back into that structure because he was like the false nine, wasn't he? And he would drop back to make them all compact, and you could see him sort of telling them all to keep their shape. Keep block the holes.
That's been a captain. We've been a captain, and he got his reward through it. Great assist.
Oh,
not
many
players, because even I thought he was going to shoot, but the pass, because they highlighted in the highlights that Bruno Fernandes looked at least 3 times, so he knew where he was. And to do that, it was a great pass and obviously a great finish. But it was a good game. Obviously, when United are on it, and. Martinez was comfortable. Haaland seems to struggle against Martinez. I don't know why. Maybe his nippiness, his strength, tenacious. It was a good day, mate. Kept them dirties quiet now. So had the little parade. Stockport was quiet, but other than that,
I made a point actually on Monday on the member show that Gary Lineker and all these pundits, they're sort of very quick to criticize Bruno, and obviously Gary Neville, from what we can gather, incorrectly said that he has to come off against Liverpool last year and never kind of took that back. But then it's all very quiet when he has been sensational for the last 20 games. And I think to me, mate, like he is the one signing post Fergie. I think that United can say that's a United signing, or that's been a successful signing every year, mate. And again this year, he has created the most chances in the league. Like, his stats speak for himself. Does he flail his arms about and stuff? Yeah, I get it, and I get that.
Yeah, but he can't do that as a captain now. He can't do that as a captain. He can't do it.
I do get it.
It's under too many people's skins, and he's always going to be up for criticism with it. If the way he performed and reacted on the cup final, that's the one we want. Yeah, you can dig people out, but the waving of the arms when the ball doesn't come to him, when really someone's shooting and he's in every right to shoot, but he thinks he should have got the pass. But they're the ones that get annoying.
I thought he was excellent, mate. And like on the Haaland thing, people. So that's why I said on Monday I talked about a couple of weeks back. Roy Keane kind of criticised Haaland for the lack of what he brings to a team, other than if he doesn't score goals, he doesn't bring anything. And I think people got lost in it because I think he said something like he's like a League 2 centre forward, and people got lost in the kind of metaphor, if you like. But actually, he was ahead of the curve in what he was saying. Is that he was saying he doesn't offer much other than in the 18-yard box, and I think it's the way he said it is probably what people took issue with. But he is right, mate. Like, Haaland is the best finisher, the best out-and-out centre forward in the world. But he's not very, he doesn't link up the play. He doesn't create for other people.
He's struggling in a place like Real Madrid or Barcelona where they like to build up the play and
He'd score goals, mate, wouldn't he? He would score goals.
He'd score goals wherever he goes. Yeah, once you give him chances, he's going to score goals. But he's nowhere. It's a difficult one, mate, because he does the most hardest thing in football, which is stick the ball in the back of the net. But when they don't score, when they don't perform, he doesn't touch the ball. Really, he has like 20 touches a game. Now, that's sometimes that's okay, but that's as a player. Why don't you go look for the ball? Why don't you get involved? He doesn't want to, so it's his choice. Any striker would show for it, would want the ball more. But
the thing is,
he seems to be okay with just staying out of it.
Like I thought on Saturday, particularly in the second half, when it was basically Doku versus Wan-Bissaka, and if they didn't create from that, it felt like they weren't going to create. And what I was thinking, I was looking at it and I thought, if Haaland would drop in deep and try and get Martinez to follow him, that might create space behind for one of the wingers. His movement, but he doesn't want the ball. Like, he wants it in the area.
His movement, last line, is very good, but his movement in dropping and showing and that kind of movement is very poor. So Roy Keane's kind of right in a way, because it's not of an elite striker. Sometimes his touch is a 10-yard pass, so he's got to get better than that. He's got. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he knows it. I'm sure they know it. I'm sure he's working on it, and I'm sure he'll get better with it.
A couple of notable and interesting things on the United side. Obviously, there's rumours of certain players leaving. There's been rumours of Rashford leaving. He was in tears at the end. I think he stays. I think that looked like a reaction of someone who's had so much shit this year that it was just like a big sigh of relief and like a outpouring of emotion. That's only my, it's a guess, basically. Isn't it?
Well, he's got a big contract. I know he's only just signed, so unless they get a big offer for him, he's not going to be away anyway, is he?
I thought
he's not going to have to leave Manchester United.
No.
Yeah, no.
You'd think not, wouldn't you? Aaron Wan-Bissaka is another one.
There's a few people you cash in on.
Yeah, well, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is an interesting one because I think Dalot has been so good this year. They're definitely not going to sell Dalot. So if they've got to raise money, Wan-Bissaka is probably someone you can get. Yeah,
but you still need to bring in a right back, mate. You still need a backup right back.
I would keep Wan-Bissaka because I think he offers something that no one else does.
I would cash in and get someone else. Yeah, I would cash in and get someone else. There's a few you could cash in on. Wan-Bissaka, what's he got, a year left? Or do you just let him go for free? Or you can let these players who you pay 40 million for just go for free. You can get some money back from him. Get money from him, McTominay,
Casemiro,
maybe Maguire.
that's what I was going to ask you about Maguire. So I would sell Maguire, right? Because I don't think he suits the way United play. Like, I think he's had a very good season.
I disagree to a certain extent. In the last half of the season, he's done okay.
But but like I think he's had a real. I think this season. Maguire,
the problem is he willing
to
be a bit part player because he's not going to play. He's not going to be first choice.
He's going to be the backup.
He's not going to be happy. I'm thinking here that this is his mindset. He's not going to be happy with that, so he's going to want to move on. Or he might do what he's done. No, I want to play from a position.
Yeah. He seems to have a good mentality. My question with him is this season, Maguire's definitely been a positive for United. He's been pretty good and he's shown strong mental strength and all that. My problem with him from a United point of view is he takes so long to pass the football that all the spaces get closed and then he just goes sideways back. Whereas then you see Martinez get it. When Martinez and Varane play, they get the ball, they pop it about, they play through the lines, and
Lindelof
moves up the pitch.
He's got a year left on it. Goes, he gone. So Lindelof's gone. There's another centre half gone.
So, but if you said they need a centre back anyway because Varane's going. So I would argue they need two already. But say they definitely need one. And then if you sell Maguire and Lindelof, you need three centre backs. Can you see United selling two centre backs and bringing three in? I just don't know if that's doable in one summer, which is why I think.
No, I think that one
Maguire stays.
The one that they would keep it would be Maguire. I'd be more than happy with that. As long as they bring two adequate replacements or better replacements, then you'd be happy with that. But then you've got to look wing out wide. We're fine. Do you bring back? What happens with? No, you're going to get cash for some players here. You're going to get Jadon Sancho played himself into a decent price. Done well in the Champions League. Now he's in the Champions League final. See how he performed in the Champions League final. If he performed in the Champions League final, say he gets the win and plays the man of the match again, that's going to bump his price. So United going to keep him. Mason Greenwood, he's still on contract. People want to buy him. There's another 20, 30, 40 million, even though he's an £100 million player in the making.
Yeah, I think the Greenwood one is interesting because there seems to be so many players after him, so many teams after him.
Well, he will be because he's, like I say, he's an £100 million player. He's a decent player. He's left foot, right foot, equally as good, both feet, good pacing, and knows where the back of the net is.
So in the papers today, they were linking Atletico Madrid with Mason Greenwood for a swap deal for João Felix, the one who was on loan at Chelsea a couple of seasons ago. Would you take that? Because I don't think United need that type of player.
Where does he play?
He's normally at like a 10, where Bruno plays, really. He can play in the wide areas.
No, I'd try and get some. No.
They need a 6.
Yeah, you've got. That's what we've been doing in the past, mate. You've got to have a system now. Right, what do you need for this system? What kind of players? This is the system we're playing with. These are the type of players we need to bring in. Because that's where they've been making mistakes. They've just been bringing names in. City are buying these. Let's buy them.
Yeah.
So they've got to be identified as the right players and do the right due diligence. Background. Are they good teammates? Are they young? Are they sellable? Resellable? All this kind of stuff. So it's a lot that goes into it, especially when you're at the top end. So they can't make any mistakes. They're behind the 8 ball. And so at the minute, they need to hit the ground running it and start bringing some decent players in.
Yeah, I mean, to me, United, without selling anyone, they need a left back, a centre back, a 6, and probably a backup striker. Maybe the striker they need, they could just get a 29, 30-year-old, someone who doesn't mind just coming in and out of the team, because Haaland's their guy, but you need someone who could, because obviously Martial's going, they have got no, and he hasn't played all season, but they haven't got any backup to Haaland, so they need somebody. They need a left back, because I thought Ten Hag, did you see what he said about Luke Shaw before the final? So he basically said Luke Shaw is the best left back in the world when he's fit. Unfortunately, because of his leg break early in his career, he cannot play 60 games a season. So that would indicate straight away that regardless of Luke Shaw's fitness, they need a left back.
Yeah, so it needs to be managed, doesn't it? He needs to be managed.
And they've got the young lad, haven't they?
It was a really bad leg break.
Yeah, it was, and it definitely changed. Because I believe, if you look at his injury record before that, he was pretty much like Bruno, fit all the time, not really sort of getting little strains and niggles and stuff. But at the end of the day, mate, if you can get 30, 40 games out of him like he did last year, and then have someone who comes in and doesn't disrupt the system, and I think that's been a big thing for Rashford this year, is not having Luke Shaw there. I think that he makes a huge difference to how United play, but also how Rashford.
Although Dalot's done a really good job at left back, even though he's right-footed.
Yeah. I think Dalot has been outstanding. Like Dalot, Bruno, and like the young guys like Maino, Haaland, and Ahmad, and this Garnacho, they've all been good. I thought Rashford was good in the FA Cup final. Fair play to him, because I think that was a big call in itself by the manager to not play Ahmad, because I think fans wanted Ahmad to play. Fans wanted probably Haaland to play.
This is what I mean. He's he
got the big calls right on Saturday, didn't he?
He did. And with a full team,
you'd fancy him, mate, to do well. I think I said,
and with better players next year, we could see McTominay coming out of that, a left back, and like a six.
They need like a holding midfielder, don't they?
A centre half and a holding midfield, yeah. And
do you know what I said to a United fan?
You still got Mason Mount here, who we've not even talked about. 60 games down, he's hardly played this year. Who's just like in the doldrums. Where's he? What is he? 24, 25,
24, 25. Yeah, and that's the
it's a big year for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he can play him, but he needs to show it. He needs to be playing. I would say he should start. He should be thinking to himself, I'm starting like next season in that midfield. If he doesn't, then he's just a squad player. Yeah,
but then I think if he's your substitute instead of McTominay being your substitute, suddenly the squad is a lot deeper and stronger, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Because he is someone.
You add to it as well, mate. You add to it.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah.
Bigger, better. That's where you get better. Get better player, better competition in training. They had the tougher games when you're playing in training. That's what you aim for. Your toughest games are in training, not. So the matches are relatively easy, but it's a long way to go to that. Yeah.
So on Mason Mount, that was
Johnny Evans as well. There's another one.
Yeah,
that was the four centre halves.
So that was the 7th or 8th time that Mason Mount has played a final at Wembley, and it's the first one he's won. So I was sort of, for him, I was quite happy that when he came on at the end and he got to experience it, because he's just lost at Wembley every time he's played for Chelsea. Just lastly on United then, mate, before we look to the Champions League final, Ten Hag, would you keep him?
Yes, yeah. I echo what you said before. I would just keep him, just see it another year. He's earned another year by winning that FA Cup final and that performance. The players seem to have a really good relationship. We've seen that after the game with some of the players, how he was interacting with them. So, yeah, I wouldn't rock the boat, and I would, give him that extra year. And like you say, if he does work out, said, they're happy. If he doesn't, they're not. He wasn't our man. He's got to go. But I would give him another year. In his second or third, I got the Champions League last year, and he won a cup. And all right, it's been bad, but there's been a lot of injuries and poor players as well. So Casemiro cashing on as well.
Yeah, I think he'll go when he just something's happened this year, and he just hasn't been the same player. But
fucking torn a caravan.
The interesting thing with the other one of the things that I would take into consideration about Ten Hag as well is this year, which I think has been very positive for United, is you look at, since he's come in, look at the young players that have been given a chance, but not just given a chance for the sake of it, given a chance in the first team and nailed down places. Garnacho started 50 games this year. Mainu it's like the first name on the team sheet. Haaland is obviously young. Ahmad has now forced his way into the team.
Mainu, sorry to interrupt, Mainu would have played more, but he got he got injured in pre-season. The first pre-season game, he was out for 3 months. So he would have played more. Because I remember when he started the pre-season, I was thinking, I remember watching this kid at the FA Youth game, and he was a decent player. There was 2 players that come away from that game thinking, I'm going to watch out for them. It was Garnacho, who scored 2 in the final, and Kobe Mainu, and they both were brilliant. And then, so when I see him in the pre-season, we watched that on new TV. I was thinking, he was playing really well, and then he got injured like the first 15 minutes. He was out for 3 months. So you would have seen more of him.
Yeah, then that's the thing, isn't it? And again, I would reiterate, all those young players have not just come in; they've thrived, but also. Underneath this, United's under 18s have just broken a load of records. There is 5 to 7 players in the 18s and the 23s who have got this worldwide reputation already that people think they're going to be incredible. They got that left back, I've forgotten his name, Harry something, who is supposed to be like a mini Luke Shaw. I've seen him a couple of times and he looks amazing.
Well, maybe he comes into the 4 next year, mate.
That's why they've sold Fernandes, isn't it? The Alvaro Fernandes. They sold him for 6 million to Benfica.
Yeah, maybe you'll see some of these players, because I've watched him, and a lad who used to play with his son plays for Curly. So they've got a good team, and there's a kid from Liverpool as well, Lacey.
Yeah, Shea Lacey. Yeah.
Left-footed, like a Phil Foden, really, really good goal scorer.
And that's what I mean. If you bring in a new manager, is that manager going to want to? Because he's going to be under so much pressure. Because you got to remember, if they sack Ten Hag, they're going against what match-going fans want. Because the match-going fans want him to stay, the majority, and the players seemingly majority want him to stay. So if you go against that as owners, the manager's under so much pressure straight away. He's not going to blood new youngsters in that.
The whole team, the whole club, all ages are playing his system.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting, mate. Very interesting. Right. This weekend is the Champions League final, but it is also Toni Kroos's final match as a professional footballer at club level. Speak to me a bit about Toni Kroos and just how good he is. You can speak to me in a minute when you come back. Toni Kroos is actually, ironically for United, is the one that got away. I was going to say, obviously we've got a Champions League. I want to speak about Toni Kroos, mate. Ironically, because we were just talking about United, he is the one that got away for United. Because remember, the deal was all in place and done, and David Moyes was it David Moyes or was it Van Gaal? I think it might have been Van Gaal turned him down, and he went to Madrid because they already had the deal in place before Van Gaal come in. And then Van Gaal come in and vetoed it and said, no, I don't want him. And Toni Kroos went to Madrid and he's made history. He is one of the great midfielders, in my opinion, of this generation. What I like about him is when you watch him play, if he's on the ball, he literally is telling Vinicius Jr. or Bellingham, or he's telling them where to run. He's pointing as he's dribbling. He's going, go there, go there. I just think he's quality, mate. But he's just one of them. He's just one of them proper midfield players. You know, not many people realize he was a number 10. Yeah.
And then I think it was Angelotti that converted him into. When he went to Madrid, converted him into a 6. So, really good footballer. Tidy. The weight of passes reminds me like of a Michael Carrick. You know, really good footballer. No problems. Plays every week. Really good. No dramas. Really good footballer. You know, finishing on the top, really top end, going out in the Euros, going to the final of Real Madrid, the Champions League final. You know, it's what dreams are made of, isn't it? Just going out at the top and then playing in the Euros. Whereas the Euros in Germany?
Yes.
His home nation, yeah.
Yeah, you'd expect Germany to do better this time around, wouldn't you?
You would hope, but
they got a better team. They got a
They've
better
not
team.
done well in recent years, mate. But Bundesliga's done well this year. No.
Yes, it has. Yeah.
Bayern Munich semi-final, the Dortmund final.
So you got Madrid versus Dortmund, mate. Are we assuming that Madrid are going to win? But I don't think it's a one-sided smashing by any means.
It's not. It's probably 60-40 Real Madrid's favour, isn't it? So if Real Madrid perform, really, they should have enough. But Dortmund have got a few X factors, so yeah, they could catch them cold. But I'm sure that Real Madrid. I'm sure that they'll do due diligence, and it'll be a tough game. But I hope it's not cagey. I hope it's a nice open game. I don't think it will be, but I hope someone gets a goal early on, and then we can rock and roll and
well, just like the FA Cup final, mate. Everyone expected Man City to win. United had to come up with a plan.
Yeah, exactly. And Dortmund played really well this year, really well, and they've got some real quick players. So and they're a good team, real good team. No really superstars. But like I say, they've got some X factors with blistering pace. So they better be on the guard. And it's great spectacle. Where's this one playing? Is it Wembley?
Yes, it is. Yeah, Wembley.
Yeah. So yeah,
nice big pitch.
Nice big pitch. It'll be a night game, so they won't have the problem that you had on Saturday with the FA Cup final, where the pitch gets dry and the ball's sticky. It'll be nice and slick and wet with the dew of the night. So, mind you, it'll be still but it's getting a bit darker. You'll get that night dew, and it'll be a good game.
Yeah, and the one thing you mentioned there, Dortmund have got a team. They've got a very team-related ethic. They've got a good manager, but what they have got, mate, is they've got players who use their brain, like Sancho, Brandt, Adiemi, Sabitzer, all these players, even Hummels at the back. They're very clever players. Hummels is not as quick as he was back in the day, but he'll be up against Rodrigo and Vinicius Jr. and Bellingham, and he will use his brain to marshal them and to try and make sure they're not getting free. But then on the Madrid side, you've got Camavinga and Kroos and Valverde. Like, these are top quality players. Bellingham will have that free role. But then Jadon Sancho in the semi-final completed 12 dribbles, which was a record for a Champions League game. So Dortmund are no mugs, but Madrid are very, very good. And what I think what I like about this Madrid side is, apart from Kroos, maybe Rudiger, they're all young, hungry, and pacey, fit, but they play amazing football. And I really enjoy watching this Madrid side. It's frightening to think they might add an Mbappe. Someone made a comment earlier, actually, when we were talking about Haaland. Where's it gone? Let's see if I can find it. Reece said, I think that Haaland would thrive at Madrid with Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe either side of him, with a Bellingham behind him. But then he would score goals. Like, we were not saying that he's rubbish. What we're saying is, wherever he goes, he'll score 30 to 40 goals every season. But when things go wrong, he doesn't offer a lot for the team. Like, I felt on Saturday, for instance, that he could have opened up that United defence a little bit for his teammates by dropping in deep and moving about a bit more, instead of just hanging around the box and waiting for a chance. But, it's just my opinion. At the end of the day, he scores 40 goals at the top level every season. I don't. Give me a prediction, mate, for Madrid versus Dortmund.
2-1 Dortmund.
Interesting. I'm going with 2-2 and Madrid on penalties.
Sit on the fence.
No, I said Madrid will win on penalties. I'm just very particular, I can see it all the way through. 1-1 extra, 1-1 at the end of full time, 1-2 at the end of extra time. Jude Bellingham's going to get sent off.
We've had a week of upsets. Atlanta beat Bayern Leverkusen. United beat.
What a performance that was!
United beat City. Olympiacos beat Fiorentina, and Dortmund will beat Real Madrid. You've heard it here first.
There we go. That'll be the final upset of the season, won't it?
Yeah. And then you'll see. Probably Germany win the Euros.
Interesting.
Please, England. Please, England, don't win. Please. Never hear the end of it.
We got 4 minutes left, mate. I want to just throw a couple of things at you. Vincent Kompany's gone to Bayern Munich to be the new manager. What do we think of that?
Yes, tells you don't move away from your principles. Stick with it, and things will come good. Yeah, he's obviously a top player. He did really well in Anderlecht. He's obviously not got the players that he would like for the system that he does. So maybe now it'll work with better players. So yeah, interesting to see. I'm sure they'll sweep the board next year, and go to some bigger, better things. And then when Pep leaves at the end of the year, he'll have a decision to make.
I got to say, for Bayern, I think it's a brave appointment because obviously he's just got relegated. They won 4 or 5 games all season. He's not exactly on a high coming into it, but I can see the logic to appointing him.
No, I think it's a real good appointment for him. Really good appointment.
Yeah, it's clever, isn't it?
Because he talks well, confident, not cocky, confident, and has that authoritative figure. He's been a very good captain for City. And I like the way he speaks, Vincent Kompany. Didn't really particularly like him as a person or as a City event, just because he played for Man City. But yeah, as a manager, comes across really well. I like how he speaks.
Fair enough.
So and Craig Bellamy, so they've got good partnership. So
Bellamy's now been appointed acting head coach at Burnley. So Bellamy is not going with him.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, that's a good opportunity for Bellamy then.
Which is interesting on a couple of fronts, because one, it means Bellamy might be looking towards having a go himself, and the other interesting part of it is Cardiff still haven't appointed a manager yet, or they haven't tied up Bullet. Bellamy is only the acting head coach of Burnley, which that is an interesting one for me.
Well, it is. If he has a good start, let's give him a 3-year contract. If he doesn't, see you later.
That's the aim.
It's that simple. First 5 games. If you don't start well, they'll be down the road.
Here you go then. I'll let you finish with these comments from Arthur. He says, you got to read them in order. Jack Grealish reminds me of Gaza.
Why? Because he's always boring.
And then he said, Grealish won't go to Germany with England. Do you know what's interesting about Jack Grealish, mate? Very quickly, got 60 seconds. He didn't get on the pitch on Saturday. Hasn't played a lot towards the end of the season. Hasn't had a great season. I know he loves Pep, but would he, at the age he's at, start to consider his future at City in terms of playing time? Because I couldn't believe he didn't get on the pitch on Saturday. When they needed a goal, they didn't turn to Jack Grealish, one of their best players last season.
Yeah, back to Aston Villa. I'm sure he'll end up going back to Aston Villa.
He's a bit young. Well, I suppose Villa
in the Champions League, Jack Grealish in that Aston Villa team.
He does love him as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, but no, he's not leaving City. No.
Okay. Mate, as always, a pleasure. We'll look to hopefully get another Gigs with Guests in next week. Guys, if you switch over to Cardiff City World now, the Flower Hour has begun. They're doing a quiz and some other stuff, so make sure you check that out. Cardiff City World on YouTube. It'll also be on the Ace Podcast.
Who's that? The Chuckle Brothers?
Yeah, they think they're the main event, don't they? They think they're the main event. Come on,
I've seen it before.
Shocking, isn't it? Rob, is a funny one. Now get on there. Yeah, shots fired. Now get on there. Give them a watch. They're quite funny, and they're doing a quiz and that. And support the boys make some noise. See you soon. We'll be back next week. Talk about the Champions League final.